exploitation over engagement, cash over community, loss over life. So, as Jing described, in 2006, on my street there was a bowling club, and I tried to engage with them, but they were pretty rude, they weren't interested. But they were in a death spiral. They hadn't kept up with changing demographics, and they went down the next road, which is they wanted to develop the land. And as local community, we engaged with that, and we just went, whoa, hang on a sec. We don't use it, but we think it's good, and we actually pushed back, and we had a 2-year tussle where we felt that they'd lost the right to be custodians of that land, and we became members, and we resisted that, and we spilled the board, and the community took it over. And we took over a failed club. There was no permanent staff. There was decaying greens. The people and bowlers had left, and it was it was in a very sad state. But we were open, and so we were board, and none of us were bowlers. So it's still crazy. None of us were bowlers. None of us have been on boards, and none of us have really worked in hospitality. Like, I think I had my RSA, you know. So we really didn't know what we were doing. And I think through failure, you get the opportunity to see things differently. So we just realised we had to trade and we had to figure it out. We didn't know what to do. So we contacted Clubs New South Wales, because we went, well, they're the peak body, we'll ask them, what do we do? Well, we had to pay $900 to sign up before they could send information. I'm going to tell you, the club had literally no money, so we were down to zero. And so we joined, and they gave us the review of what we should do, and they said, well, the poker machines that you have, they're out of date. No one wants to play them, right? So no one's coming in. So you need to sort of spend about $20,000 to upgrade the poker machines, so you can bring people through. That use the word push, bring people through, and from the profits you can offer subsidised food and drink. We went, wow, that's the model. That's the model. There it is. That's the nutshell. That's kind of how it works. And we went, so you want us to exploit one part of our community who aren't us, so we have to find them. We have to kind of woo them in so that they can play, so that they can actually lose, so that we can then lower the price of the drink and the food, so that we can all live happily ever after over here, whilst there's this room over here where we're exploitative. And we were very uncomfortable with that, but it took us a while just to figure it out. So we had these machines on. We were petrified when anyone played them, right? 2 reasons. One, we didn't know what we were doing. And secondly, we didn't want anyone to play them, we didn't want them to use them. So we had this very uncomfortable relationship with these things, because we kept being told this is just part of it. This is what clubs are. But we recognised them. So we said, used to go over in there, you just see them, it's just ubiquitous with it. But we didn't feel good about that. And we made the decision in April 2007 to switch them off. I mean, we literally switched them off at the wall and vowed never to turn them off, and we moved out of there. And what that does, it actually changes your mindset. You have to think differently. So, I don't know if you know this, but pokie money is lazy money, right? It's lazy, lazy business. So I'm coming here with the business hat, right? So that was 2007. It's now, what is it, 24, right? I think it's 17 years. I've forgotten my maths. It's a while, right? 17 years later, we have to actually act like every other business in the rest of the country other than clubs and pubs. We actually have to engage with our customers in our community. We have to think about what we can offer for a price that they're willing to pay. What services do they want? How can we bring more people in? How do we market to people who haven't been here before so that they want to come and really enjoy it and they want to stay and tell their friends and bring their friends? Call me crazy, but isn't that how a business should operate? Word of mouth, good service, great facility, love the vibe, love what you're offering. We realise that that's actually quite a different mindset. So for those clubs that have been sucking on the teeth of the gambling industry since 1956 or 55, since the 50s, they don't know what to do. The board is stacked with people who are not capable of actually thinking outside of that. And I think any board member who takes money as part of their board fees then why would they? I've got to say, I've never been paid for like 17 years of service to the bowling club. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. I just don't, I see it as a community service, and it's what I do. So you have to think differently. You've got to change the makeup of the boards. You've got to bring people in, you've got to put creatives on the board, you've got to put other entrepreneurial minds onto the board, and you have to reposition poker machines as not part of the core business. So it's part of this transitional mindset that needs to happen, which most clubs are afraid to do. In fact, they don't even know how to do it. They've got no idea, because they think they're the smartest people in the room, because look how good we're going. But then you look at, well, show me the books, is what I always go, you know. If I can look at the books, and we were talking earlier on, I had one director who contacted me, because we get contacted all the time from clubs, or a director of a club, or a member of a club saying, we really want to get off poker machines, but there's some Neanderthals on the board, or there's some dinosaurs on the board, and they don't want to do it, so how can you help us? And we go, well, it's quite a big conversation, because it's actually quite a way, like, you've got to rejig the way you think about how business operates. And I did manage to look at, there was one member that I managed to look at another bowling club, and their turnover was 2.2 million, and only 500,000 was from what I call engagement money, and the other 1.7 was exploitation money. So you can see how challenging it is for the boards to kind of let go of that. They don't understand that. So that's the easy money. The 500 is the harder money. Okay, but it's the interesting money. It's actually what you offer. That's the community money. That's actually people in the room other than the poking room actually enjoying the services that you have to have. That's everybody else. Okay, but they don't see that. So I suppose Petersham Bowling Club, we've become over our 17 years, and I love the numbers, right? So I looked at the turnover when we took over in 2006, and I did the numbers the other day, and if you want to take one business metric, if you like, which is just turnover, we've increased turnover 902%. Okay, so that's a great number. And it shows that if you engage, you have to work with boards, and you have to work with those who are aligned with wanting to change, to start to build their engagement side. And there are a lot of people out there who do want change. They're out there, they're wanting that. There's huge interest. I think I've become the face of pokie-free clubs. Now I've got to say, as someone who doesn't bowl, and you know, it's like, I don't know, it's a bit odd, but we've been very loud and proud at the Petersham Bowling Club about what we do, because we think it's an important conversation to have. What was really interesting was when we removed them, we were loud about it, going, hey, we got rid of our poker machines, and our business went, choo. You could feel it just blew right. People started to come from out of area. I look at someone and I go, who are you? Because frankly, those days you knew everyone, right? We went, who are you and where are you from? And somebody said, oh, I'm from Castle Hill. I don't know if you know your maths in Sydney, but that's like probably a 3-hour drive to Petersham. But why are you here? Well, we heard you got rid of the poker machines, we want to support you. And I went, wow, okay, that's interesting. We were at the club and we were doing some repairs. This would have been probably 2008 or 9. Channel 7 was interested and they were interviewing me about it, and there were some tradies working in the background. And Channel 7 left, and then they said, oh, we just heard a story, we'd like to become members. And I said, oh, okay, sure, sign up here. And so, you know, we want to be associate members, which is the higher fee. And so they joined, and then I looked and I said, you live in Penrith. And they said, oh, we'll probably never be back. Well, we just want to support you too, because we think what you do is important. So it's about speaking out. There is an alternative. I've been a big champion of that. There is a lot of interest in the press about it. Every time we just jump in, every clubs in New South Wales will go, you know, we need to rally against poker because we've got to keep all the community clubs going. We always put a hand up and say, no, there is another way. It's actually an engagement model. And here we are, yes you can. We've had so many articles written about us, and you know, Guardian Australia, Costa was there doing it was very exciting. You know, Better Homes and Garden, why are they there? And when they come, the project did a story. New Zealand interviewed. BBC did a story on us, which is interesting, which is coming up. And you know, every question, first question they ask is, how did you do it? So there's the club, but they want to know how you did it. How did you do it? How did you do it without poker machines? As if it's some sort of magic, you know. It's just what I find odd is they think it's kind of some juju, you know, it's like, you know, some. You've got to know it's just business. It's just straightforward business that every other business in society has to think about. Is who are my customers? Who are our members? What service can we offer? How can we be ethically responsible to that so we don't exploit them? Because any other business who exploited their customers would go to jail and they'd be shut down, right? Clubs with poker machines should be shut down, you know? And I mean, people go, oh, if we go to the club, pokies will fail. Well, maybe, I don't know, but you don't know. You don't know unless you try, right? Unless you try and engage with them. Some of them which are just pokies, you know, like the graph one you're talking about, they don't, some they're literally just fronts for, you know, for the machines. Well, what if they go, they go. What service do they offer? Or they transition to something more interesting and they change. So I think that there's interest, there's a hearing and an interest out there from parts of the community. There's an interest from people who are in clubs that want change and they don't know how to do it. And I think we need to be a voice for that. I mean, Petersham Bowling Club's a voice for it, and we're trying to be a louder voice about it, but also giving them the resources to do that. So that they go, how do we do that? How do we think differently? This is the entrepreneurial mind I'm talking about. We've got to think differently. It's a mindset, but it's possible. So I suppose I stand here as the Petersham Possibility Club. Or the PBC as we call it, we always say people building community. So, and that's what clubs started as, they're community clubs. And they service a sport or they service an interest of sorts. And that's what they're there for, and that's what they need.